Good day and welcome to this Focus On with myself, Deelwat Rademeyer. The inaugural Gauteng Climate Change Indaba kicked off in Boksburg, South Africa recently, themed Overcoming Barriers to Climate Finance and Implementation of Climate Action. Some of the key topics this Indaba is looking to highlight is actionable strategies to set Gauteng on the right climate path and attracting investments into Gauteng's climate projects, while currently facing current climate challenges such as water shortages and warm weather conditions. Joining me now to unpack this Indaba in more detail is Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi. Premier, could you reflect the meaning of this inaugural Indaba for the provincial government?
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I said when I was addressing the team here that there are two things that are inevitable: climate change and artificial intelligence, AI. If you don't adapt and move with those two, you'll definitely perish. With climate change, unfortunately, you'll see it in different forms, either as disasters or in our inability to convert either recyclable material or to respond to challenges of energy. So we have agreed to have this inaugural Climate Change Summit, so that we are the first province not only to talk, but to receive from experts and those that are in the field, how are they thinking and what is it that they can contribute, so that by the time we formulate a policy position, it's not a policy position of a Gauteng government, but it's a policy position of those that are involved in the sector, because the sector is very important. These are the people that breathe, live, and play climate change. So I'm quite excited that the attendance is amazing. We've got so many people, important people that have attended. I think now that they're in commissions, they will be in a position to give us recommendations that will not excite us, but will make Gauteng a better place.
Premier, is this part of Gauteng Province's strategy to become more green efficient, as we are always looking for ways to produce new energy sources and build new reservoirs, as mentioned in MEC Mayile's Gauteng midterm budget policy statement recently?
Indeed. We want to position ourselves as a province that can compete, as a province that can also defend its competitive edge to be the economic hub of the country, because if we don't adapt, the economy will move with or without us. So it's very important that we move along and deal with the challenges that we are facing. And I was happy now I've come out from the exhibition center. There are so many new products. So it is part of our strategy to unearth talent. It's part of our strategy to align ourselves to international resolution. But it's also part of our strategy to make Gauteng a competitive city region.
I would also like to get your thoughts behind using Indabas like this to attract investors. And also, do you have any other strategies in mind? What does the investors' appetite look like for Gauteng's greener strategy?
Today, in the Gauteng legislature, I unpacked almost 30 billion of new investment that they've attracted in the last 18 months, ranging from fuel, those that wants to establish markets, and many other things. So we're quite excited with our attraction of investment. But with the high level of unemployment, especially in our province, we can't sit on our laurels and say we got this investment. That is why you'll see we are convening an investment conference early next year to consolidate of all those that wants to come to our province. So we are indeed in the investment market. We are open for business, and we want to make it easy for those that wants to invest in our province to find Gauteng attractive. But you can't do that if you don't fight crime. You can't do that if you don't sort out our challenges of water and energy. So that's the reason why this Indaba, it's a very important Indaba for us, so that it can assist us to get out of these challenges.
And that was Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi speaking to us on the Gauteng Climate Change Indaba. I'm now joined by Gauteng MEC of Environment, Sheila Peters. Good day, MEC. Can you speak to us on the significance of organizing this Indaba?
Thank you. Gauteng is experiencing manifested effects of climate change and needs to act quickly to lessen the impact of this phenomenon and contribute to the reduction of greenhouse gases. The Climate Change Indaba provide a platform for relevant stakeholders to engage on robust dialogue and dialogue on climate change related policies, identify collaborations and interventions to facilitate the transition to a climate smart and resilient Gauteng city region.
The theme for this Climate Change Indaba, as mentioned in my intro, is overcoming barriers to climate finance and implementation of climate action. Can you unpack this theme in more detail?
So the department, the provincial government, as well as the municipalities have developed climate action plans to respond to climate change. However, there's a lack of finance within the provincial government, and you would also know that the same is true for the municipalities. So the Indaba seeks to unlock these barriers to advance transitioning the Gauteng city region into a low carbon and climate resilient economy. This will be achieved engagement with the private sector and different financial institutions that are funding climate change mandates.
What strategy and plan does the province have in place to respond to climate change?
So the Department of Environment has developed the Gauteng City Region Overarching Climate Change Strategy and Action Plan, which was approved by EXCO in 2020. The strategy outlines 11 key programs, which is health, water, transport, waste, energy, human settlements, and agriculture, which represents major sectors of the economy. In addition to this, Gauteng has established the Premier's Expert Advisory Committee on Change and on Change Committee, which is constituted by 18 experts from business, finance, academics, and NGOs to help the province to mainstream climate change into the development policies and programs for both economic and social infrastructure.
Who have you partnered up with for this Indaba?
So we have partnered firstly with the Under 2 Coalition and Regions 4. This partnership is with these institutions has provided opportunity to access for climate finance and also enabled exchange of information, peer-to-peer learning with like-minded regions, and also fostering discussions on climate change mitigation and adaptation policies. Then we have the University of Johannesburg that we've partnered with, and our partnership with UJ has not only resulted in cutting-edge research in the fields of climate change, waste management, environmental management, but also resulted in training of townships, SMMEs in solar PV installation. We've also partnered with National Cleaner Production Center, Green Building Council of South Africa, International Union for Conservation and Nature, and then the South African Medical Research Council.
What has the province done so far to implement these strategies?
So the province has developed the Net Zero Guideline 2050 in partnership with the CSIR. The net zero pathways were developed through sector roadmaps that were developed based on modeling and an online outline, on how each sector will contribute to transition to net zero emissions by 2050. We are also in the process of finalizing the Green Public Procurement Guideline in order to green the supply management chain and work towards a circular economy. One of the key strategic interventions of the strategy was to establish the Premier's Expert Advisory Committee on Climate Change in order to coordinate, accelerate, as well as guide climate change response actions outlined in the strategy. This Expert Advisory Committee has been established and launched in June 2022, and it plays an executive role to transition the Gauteng City region into a low-carbon, resource-efficient and climate-resilient economy that significantly contributes towards national climate action targets. The Gauteng Department of Environment has partnered with NCPCSA in the Gauteng Industrial Symbiosis Program, a free facilitation program that connects companies so that they can identify and realize business opportunities enabled by using unused or residual resources like materials, energy, water, etc. Also, we've done the rollout of the solar PV and battery system on public facilities, including health facilities and schools. Climate change school awareness programs, which started in 2017 and are still ongoing. The program targets schools in vulnerable communities for climate change education.
MEC, as we bring this conversation to a close, what climate change message do you have for the Gauteng community?
So climate change is here to, the impacts of climate change cuts across health, economic, agriculture, water, and many essential aspects of daily lives. Understanding how it affects and impacts our lives is essential. Communities must participate in the make and their voices must be heard. But also want to add that, like I've said earlier today, that each and every resident of Gauteng must make climate change their business. We need to understand what it's doing to the environment, and we all need to start acting and responding to it as early as yesterday. Thank you.
This is where we would need to leave the conversation for now. I would like to thank my guests, Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi and Gauteng MEC of Environment Sheila Peters, for joining me today. And until next time, goodbye.